This is me making my presentation unique. I am inserting video clips and voice memos in every slide, so that way we can go ahead and have a smooth presentation. Don't worry, if you just click present, it should smoothly transition. My name is Bryana Duck, and this is my presentation on lifetime activities, indoor cycling. Up next is what is it? So basically, all cycling is riding on a bike, but it's going to be indoors. It's much more safer. We're in a controlled and temperatured environment, so we get to really enjoy and I guess having to worry about the heat or the coldness. And I'll actually get into that in the next few slides about why it was invented and the history of it. So the location, of course, is going to be inside. It's indoors. And then the bike, in this picture that I have here, it's one of the setup of how the bikes are in the classroom. We usually have a row of cyclists and the instructor in the middle, telling us what to do and give us instructions and directions and just guiding us through the whole cycle. And then the next is the exercise portion of it. So the exercise ranges in, it's specific for cardio. The intensities do change. It just depends on the type of class you attend and how long you're there. So again, the duration of the classes usually range from 40 minutes to 60 minutes. Either way, they give you both a great workout. It just depends on how the instructor sets the format of the class and the target areas that they focus on. Usually it's quads, calves, sometimes even focus on your core. Most of it's core work because it's all about balance, and then in some classes they do even take it to the extent of adding weights. The classes that I've attended personally all had weights. And then frequency, just to be healthy and for shredding weight and health benefits. Usually visiting a cycling class around 2 to 3 times a week is perfect and beneficial for those who want to seek those benefits again. Next is why it is a lifetime sport. There are so many reasons why it is considered a lifetime sport. I just want to start off by saying basically one of the first physical activities you learn how to do when you're younger is riding a bike. Riding a bike, it seemed as as a stepping stone, a milestone for kids when they first learn how to ride a bike, starting off with the training wheels and then progressing, and then those who even take it to a step further, who compete and locally, nationally, worldwide. So that's basically why. But other reasons that I have been specific are riding with ease, because we are in a controlled area. It can be done inside, outside, but for me, I focus on the inside. It is perfect for the whole lifetime, regardless of how old, how young you are. You can always do it inside. And then independence. Again, since riding a bike is very independent, it's kind of, you're never relying on somebody else, except of course whenever you're younger. It's basic movements, just doing those perfect revolutions per minute, just cycling in perfect circles. It's again all simple. And then you build so many friendships. If you get to that competitive levelness, you do get to compete with other people, and you start networking, and you just create new cycling groups. And then joining the fitness classes, they do help a lot with making friends and building friendships and relationships over time. And then also there's so many health benefits regardless of the age and gender. There are mental and physical health benefits that can be benefited and beneficial for all ages. And then of course it is super fun regardless of how old you are or where you're doing it or how you're doing it. As long as you're getting on the bike and cycling, it is super fun. So next is improving the cardiorespiratory fitness. And there's so many benefits again to cycling. I just have a few here that I listed. Again, this is aerobic activity, so you are constantly working out and moving those muscles, getting them active and staying active all throughout the whole workout. And then you have an increased cardiorespiratory fitness because you are consistently working out. It is increasing at every single moment that you are working out. And then you are reducing your risk of cardiovascular disease. Again, it's working out on not only your muscles, but again, it's working on your heart strength. It's making it stronger, and then your circulation is getting stronger, and you have better circulation in your body. And then I also have it lowers your resting pulse, which is super good. Usually, those who are more active, they have a lower resting heart rate because their heart doesn't need to pump as much blood. And they pump more blood per each pump. exactly how it works. And then it reduces the blood fat levels again because you're staying active. You're burning more energy, you're burning more carbs and fat at the same time, so it really keeps you healthy and active. And then it improves and stimulates your heart. Again, it's just a big thing ongoing. Once you're exercising, doing this aerobic activity consistently, you are getting yourself in better shape. So next, like I told you, one of the first slides is the history of cycling and spinning classes. So indoor cycling, it wasn't always a thing. It wasn't until the late 1980s actually when Johnny Goldberg, an African-American avid cyclist, he was training for the Race Across America outdoor cycling competition. And whenever he was training, the weather was horrible. It was horrible. And he wanted to design and create something that would avoid him having to not work out because of the weather outside. So he actually, during this time in the late 1980s, he made his own cycling bike, handmade. He did it by himself, and it just has been constantly and consistently been improving each year since that 1980 era. And then in the 1990s, the classes did start accumulating. And this is whenever group fitness was a super big thing, you know, Jane Fonda. This is where they started to just grow and keep growing and expanding. So the class demand, it just grew immensely, and it had to continue to just make new classes and make them bigger. And even during this time, Rolling Stones did mention Mr. Goldberg's cycling exercises as one of the hottest exercises during that time period. And in the 2000s, again, that bike right here, this picture that I have here for you, and it just kept on progressing. And to this day, we are getting new models every other year of innovative, more safety, and chic. They're just becoming more stylish.
Because this information is a little bit more informative, I went ahead and inserted a voice memo for the spinning brand timeline, continuing on history. So first, in that 1991 year, we have Mr. Johnny Goldberg and Mr. John Budden team up and make the first spinning bike. In that picture right above it, that is the first model that Mr. Goldberg did create. And then in that 1994 year, Mad Dog Athletics trademarked the name spinning and created a spinning instructor certification program, and this one is still used to this day. It's super popular. And then in 1996, just 2 years after, over 1,000 facilities in over 30 countries had officially named their facilities spinning facilities. And then in 2003, Mad Dog Athletics did have over 100,000 spin instructors worldwide. So this was just becoming bigger and bigger every year. And in 2005, this is when technology started to improve more. Spinning videos actually started to be created and promoted a little bit more. And in 2013, the spinning gauge and the screen were created. These are super useful and helpful to track how many miles you've done and how long you've done them in. And then in 2016, we got 3 more bikes, and then every year after, we just continue to getting new bikes, again, that are just keeping up with the growing times.
I'm back again. So next we move on to what the activity consists of. So I just breaks down into the warm-up, conditioning, and then the cool-down, of course, the most important components of a workout. For that warm-up phase, we do it for about 5 to 15 minutes. And it's just really consisting of stretching, really getting our body ready for this workout, however intense it's going to be. We focus on breathing, and then of course we focus on gradually building up our heart rate. And then next we have that conditioning phase. It just depends on which class you're attending and what the instructor's goal is for the class. It usually lasts around 30 to 40 minutes. And then it just includes things from endurance, sprints, which is super crazy, strength, using more resistance, and then of course weights, which is now super popular. And then the cool down, again, it's a little bit longer than the warm-up, which is 10 to 15 minutes. It's really focusing on getting your heart back to where it was at the beginning. We're stretching, we're focusing on our breathing again, and just making sure that when we get off the bike, we're ready to continue with our everyday normal life activity. Next, I have the participating in the actual activity. I did again break it down into 3 different areas. Oh, actually 4. So the first one is what to do the day before to really prepare yourself for what's gonna happen the next day. I just have build up your fitness on the bike. It is an intense workout depending on the class that you choose, which is what I have again for that the day before. Choosing the perfect class for you. Some are super intense and they're not good for beginners, but it just depends on the class that you choose. You should really look into what's going on in each class that you may choose. And then watch your cardio exercise, because cycling is super huge on cardio. I wouldn't do too much cardio the day before to avoid that soreness. And then on the day of, it is super important to keep hydrated throughout the whole day, because you will sweat, and you will sweat a lot, and you will sweat until you get home after you get off that bike. And because it is cardio heavy, you should really be ready to sweat. And then arrive early. I like to arrive at least 10 to 15 minutes early, so that way I can start building up my miles before the class actually starts, to adjust my bike and to get everything ready, so that way when the class starts I'm not in distraction. And then the day after, do expect to be sore all over, even your bottom. My cycling instructor actually he jokes around saying this is why cyclists have buns of steels, because the seat is super crazy, which I'll get into later. And then also you should really replenish what you lost the day before, and the day continue throughout the day to just continue drinking water, drinking Gatorades, eating healthy protein, so that way you can go ahead and build those muscles, so that way you're even more prepared for the next class. And then really emphasize on safety while participating in these classes, which I will go over in a future slide.
Over the have 2 videos included. I would rather much let you hear my voice instead of seeing my face. These are videos of me doing the spin class this past Wednesday. For techniques, it's really big on pedaling a bike, standing up on the bike, learning to accelerate and decelerate, and staying in the saddle. Basically hovering always, whether you're standing or sitting, to be over the saddle, which is a seat, so that way you can go ahead and keep that correct posture. So for technique,
So now skills. There are so many different skills that advanced cyclists use. In my training class, in my cycling class, we do use these. Just varying repetitions and speed, just depending on the class that I attend that day. Skills range from doing push-ups on the bike. Literally, you are pushing up on the bars while you are continuously cycling, making sure you are staying the same speed. Oblique crunches. Again, we're going side to side, making sure we're working those obliques. Cycling is really big on core work. And then we do jumps. It's not jumping in and out of the bike, but it's more of an up and down motion, working on those quads and calves, making sure we're emphasizing. When we're doing this, we have our resistance, our intensity a little bit higher, so that way we won't be falling out of the bike. And then we do bounce. Again, bouncing just is emphasizing on a pushing motion with your arms. So it is a little bit more of an arm workout. And then we have a weighted stand. My instructor likes to call it a climb song. So we'll turn the resistance all the way up to whatever we can bearable, and then we are cycling, but we're standing up, and it is weighted, so it is so much more stress on the calf muscles and the quads. And then again, we have climbing a hill and what we call riding up a hill, where we are literally sitting down on the bike and we are raising the resistance along to the song, so that way by the end of the song we have already climbed over the hill and made it back down, like how it would feel if you were to do it on a real terrain with a hill. So it's that same idea, but just on a bike inside.
Since there are a lot of pictures in this slide, I decided to again do another voice recording. So for attire and equipment, it is super simple. These are actual real pictures of the equipment that we have here locally at the rec center, Tamiya Rec Center. First, we have the Kaiser bikes. This is one of the most expensive and most popular bikes, the best one on the market right now. And then next, it is super recommended to bring a towel and a water bottle, because whenever you're getting off and on the bike, you are losing the momentum in that energy that you have, whereas if you were to stay on the bike consistently. So having it on hand is super beneficial for the rider. And then depending on the class, if we're going to use weights, it is recommended to have your weights on top of the bike, as it is shown in that picture with the bike. And then for attire, I recommend wearing long tights, regardless of whatever shirt anything you would work out in. And then these are specific cycling shoes. I myself don't use them. I just use a shoe that has a strong platform. Since there are a lot of pictures,
So now we move on to cost. The costs do range depending on the class and who is hosting the class. I know that for Soul Cycle, which is super popular for celebrities, I know that celebrities like Beyonce and then the Victoria's Secret models that we have in this photo that's located here, and then also Snooki, who is also attending a Soul Cycle class. These classes do range from $34 per session. This is not a membership, just every time you go to a class, it could be $34. And I've seen it go all the way up to $40. And then for Spinsanity, it's a little bit more cheaper. There's actually a Spinsanity here in Laredo, fun fact. It is around $15. It's a little bit more cheaper just because it's more local, but don't get me wrong, it is still super known across the nation. And then we have Cycle Bar. Again, it's ranging from $18 to $20 per class. Just depends on where you go. The region depends on the popularity and the demand of the class. And then I have for the Tamiya Rec, if you are a Rec membership holder, you do get to attend the class for free. So I do promote attending at least one class. It's on Wednesdays at 7:30 every Wednesday. And then the average class, this is an overall average for all cycle classes, it's around $15 to $20. So these classes that I did include here, they do give a range of the class. Now the next slide is safety. I did include a safety photo of proper form because that is most importantly the number one thing you should focus on once you get there, because cycling can be it can be hurtful if you aren't doing it right. So this is the picture that I included. You just want to make note of how far her arms are, and then how the seat height is adjusted to her height, and how her back is not concave or convex. It is at a perfect angle, and then she is sitting straight up with her knees. Again, they're flexed up and down. They do not torque out. That can torque the knees and lead to serious knee problems, knee injury. And then next I have hydration. Is super important, like I said earlier, to be sure that you are staying hydrated, because this is an intense workout and you will sweat, and you need to replenish that water lost during the workout. And then overworking and too much too fast, I really emphasize on this because cycling is an advanced class. I wouldn't recommend somebody who hasn't worked out before to just start off with a cycling class, especially if they haven't done the research on the format of the class, because it can be dangerous to the body if you're doing too much too soon. It is more dangerous than helpful. So again, just do your research, and then know your limits. If you can no longer cycle to what the instructor is instructing to say to do so, just go at your own pace. It is super important that you emphasize this, because I know people just want to compete and be like the best in the class, but it is you know your body better than the instructor knows your body. So listen to your body and what it's telling you. And then breathe. Most importantly is to breathe. A lot of people do forget to breathe, as crazy as it sounds. It is important to breathe. That is how your muscles are getting energy, as that's how your muscles are creating energy, and that is preventing your muscles and your body from becoming too acidic. So safety continued. Again, understanding your bike is a big, huge, important deal with cycling, because it is a machine that you are working out with. It is important to understand and know what you're doing. Ask questions. It's super important to ask questions if you don't know what's going on. To be also properly portioned onto your bike, because the seat has to match your height, and the distance you are from the handlebars does matter, and how far the seat is from the handlebars does matter. Everything matters when it comes to the bike, and making sure that you are in proper form. And then seat comfort. I know when I first got into the bike, and even to this day, the seat always kills me. But I choose not to use the seat cover, but you can also request a seat cover if it's absolutely too uncomfortable for you. There's some seat covers with a lot of padding, and there's some with very thin padding just for that extra protection. And then weights. Make sure whenever you're doing the weights, it is super important form, because we are doing weights to the rhythm of the music, and the music is usually a high bass, a high tempo. It is important for you to go with the instructor and not try to keep up with the music, because you can totally injure yourself. Throw out a muscle just being on the bike and being inconsistent with the instructor. It is super dangerous. And then of course, emphasize on cleaning your bike, because it's not yours and you do not own it. If you're attending a class, it is important for you to clean up after yourself, because the next person may not be you, and it is important to promote healthy exercising. So now we get to my personal experience. I know that you've listened to me ramble on about cycling and how fun it is, and what all the ins and out of it are. So now I do have some personal experience. I have attended a Spinsanity class in Laredo. It is super fun. The instructors are really young. They're females. The class sizes are not too big, and there is plenty of space for all cyclists to enjoy what's going on. And then I have also participated in outdoor cycling. It is super different than indoor cycling. Let me be the first to tell you. Going indoor cycling after going outdoor cycling, it was not what I expected at all. But both are super fun. It just two different workouts completely. To me, indoor cycling is crazy, and then crazy fun. And then I also do attend the fitness classes at TAMIU multiple times a week. I have been going with perfect attendance to the rec sports cycling class. The instructor is also a Laredo native, and he has competed in so many cycling competitions, and it is super cool to learn his experience and for him to be teaching us. Again, they're super fun. He keeps the music fun and clean, and the ride is intense. It is a workout, I'm not gonna lie, but it's something that I really do look forward to every week. And I hopefully in the future plan to create my own group fitness cycling class at the TAMIU Rec, maybe in the next few months, who knows. And then the last class that I attended this past Wednesday, it did here are my results, so you can know like more or less what goes on. The instructor, he did emphasize that this class was going to be a cardio endurance ride, so I tried to get as many miles as I could. So I cycled for 50 minutes, and I got around 22 miles, 22.5 in that time span, which is not too bad. Not
And finally, I get to my works cited page. This is where I got all the information from my presentation alongside personal knowledge and personal experience. I hope you enjoyed my videos, and I hope you enjoyed my twist on this presentation. Thank you so very much for your time and patience. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.